In this lesson, I'm going to introduce you to the warrior family of postures. Warrior poses show up in most yoga classes. Warrior 1, Warrior 2, sometimes Warrior 3, which is more difficult. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry, I'm going to get to it. Warrior 1 and 2 are very ubiquitous. You see them all the time in yoga classes. And they're really amazing postures, but they also take a bit of time to really know how to do them properly and well. And even, if you've been doing yoga for years, you might start finding new things and warrior poses if you're really paying attention and approaching things with a beginner's mind. So in this first class, I'm going to go over Warrior 2, which is, in my opinion, the easiest, sort of the gateway warrior posture. Warrior 1 I'll be doing after this, which is a little bit more difficult. And it's really just the nature of the muscles that it stretches. Warrior 2 is sort of an open hip posture pose. Sorry, I'm being repetitive. And Warrior 1 is a closed, internally rotated hip posture, but sorry for the technical jargon. So just starting off with Warrior 2, and if you do have balance issues in this, and a lot of people, it takes, the first time you start doing warrior poses especially, it can be difficult to balance. So it's great if you want to use a chair to help you out here. So if you are using a chair, I suggest you put it right in front of you. And you don't want to put it way out in front. You don't want to be leaning over. You want to be able to stand straight up because it's a standing balancing posture. It is on both feet, so it's much easier than something like tree pose. But just getting used to it might require a little bit of assistance from a chair. So let's go ahead and start off here. Feet as wide as is comfortable. You want a really nice wide stride, and whatever that looks like in your body is fine, but as wide as is comfortable. And we're going to start off working on the right hand side. So go ahead and turn your right foot out to a 90-degree angle. And for now, just keep your leg straight here. So traditionally, Warrior 2 would have a heel to arch alignment. So your right heel in this case would be lining up with your left arch. So if you have trouble with balance, if this is difficult right here, you can always move a little bit further apart on the yoga mat. So separate your feet out so they're not aligned heel to arch. But if you really want to work on proper alignment, heel to arch is the way to go. And from here, go ahead and put your hands on your hips. We're going to bend into this right knee. Now, it's really important in Warrior 2. You don't want your knee to go beyond your ankle because that puts a lot of stress on the knee, especially when you're coming out of the pose. So when you get aligned in Warrior 2, you want to make sure that your shin is either perpendicular or your knee is this side of the ankle. So please, please, please don't do a pose where your knee is going way past the ankle, because that's not, it's not tenable. And over time, you could really hurt your knee. So from there, put your hands on your hips. And in Warrior 2, we turn this right leg out 90 degrees and we want to continue spiraling that leg out to the side. It's just an energetic feeling of just constantly moving, almost like you're constantly turning your foot to the right. And you'll feel a bit of a stretch through here. And at the same time, we're going to turn our hips in the other direction. So you want to turn your hips so that they line up with your feet. And your hips aren't going to get all the way there. They're just going to be moving in that direction. But don't worry if you're out here a little bit, but just the intention is moving in the direction of having your hips in line with your feet. And from there, we are going to turn our shoulders so that they are perfectly in line with the feet. And to finish off the posture, we stretch the arms out. And make sure that the arms are really nice and strong. This is a nice, strong pose. And if you've never done this before, and if you're following along, you're probably already getting tired. So feel free to straighten that leg and come back into it. but it takes a lot of strength, especially in this front leg. So just take a break if you need to. So go ahead and check your back hand and see if that's lined up as well, because often it sort of ends up floating in a different direction. And then from there, typically most people, we have a tendency to lean over towards the front leg. So you might almost want to feel like you're leaning towards the back leg a bit so that you can have your torso coming relatively straight up and down. So looking over the right fingertips, engage the core. This is a nice strong posture. Go ahead and engage both legs. Really strong posture here. Really great for both flexibility and strength. And really plant that back foot down into the ground. And I'm just going to go into a little bit of energy in this pose, just so you're really feeling the way it should be felt, if you're still with me. So again, just keep spiraling that front foot, that front knee out to the right, really stretching out from your chest center through your fingertips, really rising up from the base of your spine all the way up through the top of your head. And breathing. Don't forget to breathe. And sometimes, often, especially with newer students, it's a good exercise anyway, I like to come in and out of Warrior Two. It makes it a little bit easier to do. So if you turn your palms up, inhale, straighten that right leg and bring your arms up overhead. And this is a good way to lubricate the shoulder joints as well. And then exhale back down into it. We'll do 2 more of those. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. So go ahead and bring your hands back to your hips and turn that foot back in. Maybe step your legs together and just shake out your legs a little bit. Take a breather. So that is Warrior Two. That's the gist of it. And we're going to do it on the other side too. But the first time you do it, it might feel really difficult. And in my experience with working with students, if you practice it for a week, it'll suddenly just feel like a posture that you really understand and know how to do. So just be patient with it as you're getting used to it. And just try to be open with what you're feeling in it, because you're going to feel stretches on one side and strength on the other, and just try to be really present in the posture as you're doing this. So wide stance once again. This time turn the left foot out to 90 degrees. Once again, if you need balance as you're coming into this, if you're having trouble balancing at all while doing this posture, you can just keep your hands on a chair the whole time. So whatever works for you. So go ahead and bend into that left knee. Again, we want to make sure that the knee is not tracking past the ankle. And so make sure that the shin is either perpendicular or the knee is this side of the ankle. And again, spiraling this leg out to the side, so this active energy of just opening up the inner thigh here. This back leg is really nice and strong. Hands on your hips and try to turn towards the side of the mat. And again, you're not going to get all the way there, so you'll be moving in this direction. Keep your shoulders moving so that they do get completely in line with your feet. Looking over that left shoulder, raising the left hand up, the right hand up. Looking over those left fingertips. And again, just check on your alignment. Make sure you're not really leaning over that left leg. So try to make sure that your torso is coming straight up and down. Check on the alignment of the back hand. Make sure it's not coming over like this, which is what it often does for me. And really strong through both legs. The back leg is strong, energy going out through that back foot. The front foot is actively pressing down into the ground and spiraling out to the side. You're really stretching out from the heart center out through your fingertips and rising up from the base of the spine all the way up to the back of the head. It's a really nice, strong posture throughout. Just think, strengthen the core, strengthen the legs. The arms are strong, really reaching out, and breathe. And again, please take a break if you need to, because these are difficult postures to hold. So let's go ahead and inhale. Straighten that left leg. Bring the arms up overhead. Exhale back down. Inhale back up. And exhale. And one more. And exhale. So one more big breath here. Rising up really strong, and exhale, let it go. Bring your hands to your hips. Straighten that leg. Turn that foot back in and come back to center. So there it is. There's Warrior Two, and just be patient with it. It's a posture that you see all the time in photos of yoga classes. So I'm sure you've seen at least photos of Warrior Two, and it's a really good posture to know how to do, and it's just great for balance and strength and all kinds of other things. So just check out the next video and I'll start taking you into Warrior One, which is just ever so slightly more difficult just because of the rotation of the hips. It takes a little bit longer to get used to. So yeah, there it is. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.